Hey, everybody, it's Derek Urias with Sports Talent 806. And tonight on this call, I have a very special person in my life, Coach Andre Hendricks. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my guy. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. I've been good, been staying busy, been staying healthy. That's important. Look, tonight's interview is going to be a little different. Usually, when we're talking, it's about football, 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 which is a great conversation to have. And the team that you've built with West Texas Elite is amazing. But tonight, I want to go a little deeper and talk about who is Andre Hendricks? Who is Coach Hendricks? Because before a coach, like we talked before, you're a father, you're a husband, or a family man. You're a family man. So, Andre, kind of talk to me a little bit about what really got you started in this vision of wanting to start doing what you're doing now and giving back to the community.
Man, first and foremost, I gotta give honor to God, man. Without him, man, none of this is possible, man. If only you knew about my story, man. It's a lot. I've been through a lot in my short 30 year old career, man. But first and foremost, man, I got to talk about my mother, Charlene. She's the rock. She's the person that I keep grinding for. She grinded for me for 18 years. No, single parent. My unfortunately my dad wasn't in my life that much as a child, but she played both roles. And with that being said, without her, I wouldn't be at this point. A little bit more about me. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, originally from the Metroplex. Um, Moved to Amarillo 2018, actually 2014, when I was playing with the Amarillo Venom. Played 2 years with them, moved to Tampa as a professional, moved to North Carolina, and ended up in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, kind of all over with the arena football. But more so back to Amarillo, back to how everything started. It was like I said, it was kind of not really a vision to get to this point to where we're at so quick. It was more so me wanting to kind of make some extra money training kids.
Yeah.
And it went from that to getting some kids building relationships and starting building relationship with parents. And the 707 market starting to, get fired. Different teams, different areas of the state in Texas itself. Um,
Yeah.
is a big market with 707. And West Texas, Amarillo, Abilene, Midland, Lubbock, they're spots that really don't get as recruited heavily. Lubbock has Texas Tech, and even though Texas Tech is a Big 12 school, it's a lower Big 12 school considered that it's not in a major city.
Yeah.
You know, with that being said, I just wanted to give these kids an opportunity to showcase their talent,
Hmm.
to let everybody know, hey, you don't have any stars. You don't have to have 5 star, 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. You know, we just
Yep.
had a guy commit, to Mignota State, Patty, and this
Yep.
kid, has worked his butt off, and he's going to a Division II school, and he's the only kid from Texas on that roster, and that speaks for itself. The only Texas kid on that roster, and yet alone is from West Texas. And I truly believe that without some of this footage that through the circuit that's getting out there, he wouldn't be in that position. But Keith Johnson, who's been with the team since the FTC 806 days, because before West Texas Elite, we were the FTC 806 team, and he saw me, vision, had a vision. I just kind of felt like I didn't want to just help, I wanted to help the 806 area, help those kids, but I kind of felt like God wanted me to reach out more, me being able to maneuver and travel and take the experiences of arena football and apply it to the 707, circuit, to the market, the different experiences,
It's definitely.
For the Venom, our first championship that we won, we drove 5 hours and you play 5 hours and you win the championship.
Yeah.
Well, with Venom, you're riding on the bus for 5 hours, you're getting off and you're playing the game and you're getting back on it and you just
Yeah.
won. So, I mean, you just translate that. And once I told the guys, hey, if you don't, you get that mental toughness and don't really worry about the surroundings and the extra that goes along and just focus on playing ball, that's when you're successful. When you
Yeah.
start getting the doubts and start listening to the naysayers and you start thinking about this and thinking about that, I mean, that's when you're not successful.
Yeah.
What I wanted to really want to do with the team and what I envisioned, it was exposure. just getting exposure with these guys, getting exposure to the point to where, like I said, a kid from West Texas can go to North Dakota. You know, now you getting
Looks like the audio is kind of breaking out there.
just it's just crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, the audio was cutting out there for a little bit, but can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach, just that, all of that was awesome because these guys that you've had the honor of coaching and this team that you're building, this is something they're going to remember for the rest of their life. And you talked about the most important thing is exposure and giving these guys that opportunity, a chance, because not a lot of people do look our way. Not a lot of people do look in the West Texas or the 806 at that. But there's so much talent here, and not just so much talent, but there's so much heart. And these guys have, excuse me, these guys have a passion for what they do, and that's what really got me interested and motivated to kind of do what I do. And it's because talent, like I told the guys in Plano, talent can only get you so far. But running your mouth and your actions off the field can ruin it all for you. So the fact that you're building this team, you're not just building athletes, you're building young men. And I've seen it for myself, just capturing these guys. They have fun and they're here because they want to get better. They're there every tournament because they want to get better. I've seen the work they do on and off the field, and it's amazing. But what sticks out to me the most is how I've seen them grow as men, not just athletes, but as men. Like I said, we can talk about football all night, but from what I've seen and from what I've witnessed is you're planting a seed, and we've seen what it's turning into and what it's growing into. And I'm just honored to be able to be a part of this. And we kind of talk about, me and you met just a couple years ago. And when we met, you were doing what, like you said, you just wanted to train kids, kind of make some side money, kind of do a little side hustle. But as you did it, you started to learn that, man, I have a passion for this. And it's more than just money. It's more than just football. It's the relationships that you can build. And it's the young men that you can coach up. And that's right there's the biggest accomplishment that you can have. Winning championships, that getting to witness that was amazing. But it took a team of young men to come together to get their head straight and say, you know what, we have what it takes. The only thing getting in their way was themselves and that mindset. And we've seen that. And you've been able to coach these guys and be able to get onto them, but them know that it's not out of disrespect or that you're getting annoyed. They know when coach is yelling at me and when he's getting onto me, it's because he knows the potential. He knows what I'm capable of doing. And so for you to see that in them and for them to now know, okay, oh, he's not just yelling at me just because, it makes a difference. And a coach is going to coach, and you're doing it because you know what these kids, are not kids, but what these young men and these athletes are capable of doing. And you don't ever want them to get in their own way. But when we did talk about this a couple of years ago, you brought this vision up to me, and we talked about it, and you doing this inspired me to do this now. And so just within this last 2 years, it's crazy to think me and you were both building a business, and it's taken off, and it's been, God has been so amazing and has blessed me and blessed you with what we're doing now. And it's something we love. So it's just, I got to tell you, thank you for that. I mean, because I wasn't sure. This was just a vision I had. This was something, you know what, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I have what it takes to do this, but it took you telling me, just like you tell your guys, get up and make it happen. I mean, the only thing standing in your way is you, and all it takes is work. And I had millions of excuses. We can have excuses all day. All of us have a full-time job. All of us have this and this and this, but you make time for what you love. And if you want to get better, if you want to build your business, you're going to make time for it. So it's been crazy, man. And it's amazing. And now I kind of want to talk about, you have really been going through a lot of stuff, even just away from the team. And I want to mention your two beautiful boys that you have. I know that's something that you've been kind of dealing with off the field, and you've talked to me about it, and sometimes it can mess with you. But the way you've managed to deal with that on top of coaching this team, making these trips, explain to me a little bit what's the process there? How have you been able to do it, and what's your motivation that's keeping you going?
Well, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You gotta have a great woman by your side to help you through it. And honestly, man, without Misty, man, she does a lot. You know, when she comes to the tournament, you know, when I do have my boys, she helps me with my boys. And you know, Sienna does a lot too. You know, she's playing club volleyball. Misty going to her tournaments, and she's playing at a tournament. Just at the recent tournament, you know, Sienna was playing downtown, and then they're both coming back over here and you know helping my mom. Like I said, my mom helping me with the boys, but you know, off the field, like I tell the boys, man, when I come with the team, I mean, it's a common method for me to be around those type of boys because when I have the issues that we were having, you know, don't want to get too deep into detail, but the issues that we were having, it definitely was hard, man, and
Yeah.
it's already hard enough being 5 hours away from them. But I think the biggest thing that I was scared of was losing a relationship with them,
Yeah.
but understanding that if you're in your kids' lives and you're understanding, telling them what's going on and being at those key moments, you know, always making time for them. I think the biggest thing that I've realized is, hey, sometimes you got to make time for them. And what
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing now is, hey, you're going to have to get some help to help you more to where, hey, your team still can go play and you still can be with your family while you
Yeah.
have other coaches and other people, you know, attending that. And I think understanding the circuit and getting to know these top notch organizations, the main head coaches and most, you know, the NFL guys that own the teams, you know, they don't make every tournament. They put guys in position to have kind of like a treasury, kind of like a organ. Like I said, the organization itself picks it up. You
Most
know,
definitely.
the players itself have helped me with the boys at the tournament too. You know, it is hard, but
Yeah.
my boys need to understand what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they want to do, it's whatever you want to do. I'm gonna support you in that, and you put all your effort into it.
Yeah.
See, being around these 15, 16-year olds and see these guys develop like Kai, you know, a kid that weighed almost 230, 230 pounds last year and is chubby, you know, he's down to 205, you know,
Yeah.
because of the work ethic and the constant staying on them, the
Mm-hmm.
constant, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you're not that good right now. You got to keep getting better. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you want that opportunity. You know,
Yeah.
if you want something that bad, like I tell them, if you want a girl, you're gonna stay persistent. So
Yeah.
you get her. So once you stay persistent at your work ethic, then you'll be able to be successful, man.
Most
And
definitely.
you know, that's what I'm trying to teach those boys and my boys. But it takes a whole family, man. And like I said, without Misty, without Sienna, without, you know, Monica, without Megan, without Keegan, Dad, Unts, without Fatty, without Miss Tammy, without Mr. Terry,
Yeah.
without your core group that's everybody that's West Texas Elite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only way we've been successful. That's the only way I can actually get through this.
Yeah.
It gets hard, you know, it gets tough,
Most definitely.
and you know you disagree, you know, it's never easy. You know, I think the biggest thing that I realize is the more success you have, the more issues you might end up having.
Yeah.
And not so say we've had issues, but there's been disagreements.
Yeah.
There's been times where we've mad at coach, our coach might be mad at team, or everybody just upset because we didn't do as good at a tournament. But like I
Mm-hmm.
tell the guys is, were we successful? And I think every tournament you're successful because if you don't win a game at a tournament, then you know you have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you win a championship at a tournament, you have more work to do because guess what? Everybody want to come after you. And
Yep.
I think after winning that championship, everybody knows West Texas Elite, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they know West Texas have ballers. And like, you know, for me, it's offers over this tournament we're having May 8th is going to be the debut of the 15U team. So you have the 7th, 8th, and ninth grade teams.
Yeah.
I already have an 8th grade quarterback playing 18U. So you can imagine what I'm trying to get with them, the
Yeah,
competition and level. And then you start with the 12U, just trying to build West Texas Elite. And
most
then
definitely.
maybe, eventually when they say the West Texas, they're saying, okay, those kids are dominant.
Most definitely. And you mentioned a few of those guys on the team, and you mentioned Kai, and that guy's been phenomenal to watch. To see his growth just from the time that I've been able to capture you guys and keep up with you guys. Kai has a lot of heart and a lot of drive, and so do all the other guys. But Kai has just been one. You got Kai, and then you have Trey. Those guys have been phenomenal. And Bryson, you know, Nathan, just watching these guys, Patty. I mean, of course, congratulations to him for signing on Tuesday. It's amazing to see. So you have these guys that it's been fun to watch them and to really, form a relationship myself with them, to the fact they know, man, I'm here to support you and help give you some exposure as much as I can. And putting these videos together, making these little highlight tapes it's an honor and it's a pleasure. And but I like I said, Kai is just one of those guys that I see every day. I mean, that he's every time I see him, he's always grinding, always working. And it's funny because, whenever at the tournament, Keith, and another one, I got to mention the Keith Johnson. He mentioned to Kai at a tournament, he said, you know, why coach gets onto you like that? And because Kai was a little flustered, it was just a lot of intensity. And Keith even told him, he said, it's because he goes, I've never seen someone improve as fast as you have. How much he's improved because of you believing in him, and you see the potential in him. And once you see that potential, you're never going to stop getting onto them. You're never going to stop pushing them to be the best. I mean, you might tell them at times, you're not that good. And they might take it to like, whoa, what does he mean? But it's the simple fact is, you're not that good because you can always be better. You can always get better. There's always room. And you said it earlier, we win a championship. Well, we still have more work to do. One thing that I tell these guys is never get satisfied with being good enough. You got an offer to a big college, great, good for you. But what's next? You still have work to do. You still have to prove yourself. You're at that next level. And if they keep that mentality and keep the mindset, it's amazing. And it's going to be amazing to see how far they go. So just to see these guys, Trey Farrell too, such an athlete. I mean, so much heart and does it with ease. And they're there every day to get better. But then also they want to give back to the community. So to see those camps that you had with the younger ones, those guys out there coaching them, showing them, it's awesome, man. And I just want to talk a little more about, this younger team that you're starting, the 15U team. You got Keegan Anderson, an 8th grader, playing a quarterback with the 18U team. We can go on and on about Keegan. That kid is just, he's something else. He's something else to watch. And, but the cool thing about it to me is to see how you mentioned all of the family members, the moms, the dads that are out there every day at every tournament, getting onto the boys as well too. Also a big shout out to the guys in Abilene, all the way to Crane over there, Donnie Bishop, man, these guys are crazy. The King Thomas, we can go on and on. The list goes on. These guys are phenomenal to watch. So to be able to bring them together has been awesome. But like I said, I know we weren't going to talk too much about football, but when you talk about these boys, all you want to talk about is football because, man, they ball out. But the most important thing is to see how much they've grown and to see you bring a team of guys from around the West Texas, because originally this was just going to be 806. It was just out of the 806, but you bring these guys from around West Texas who play each other during the season and they're almost enemies, have come together and formed a team and formed a brotherhood, a friendship, a family. And that right there is the best thing to see. It's a big accomplishment to you, coach, for really believing in these guys and bringing them together. And I want to talk some more. The Venom season is coming up, and you've been able to coach these guys. And this is something you've been contemplating. We talked about it. I ask you all the time. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Man, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I may or may not. But so what is your final decision? I know last time we talked, you said you're going to give it one last ride. So let's talk a little bit about that, but about how big has that made an impact in your life? Being an athlete, being able to coach in football it's more than football to you. I say that over and over again. So what does this mean to you? Just that sport alone and being an athlete yourself, what does that mean to you?
I mean, first off, Coach Reese did text today and said, come get your contracts tomorrow. So probably will go sign. And I think the biggest thing somebody told me was I think I do need to give back. I mean, let the boys see me play because they haven't got a chance to see me play.
Yeah.
And I still got it, I still got the itch to play, man. So got to get it out of me. But it is going to be some scheduling conflicts. It will be. But, the biggest thing I took from the meeting, like I said, with Cecil and Cam, it was, hey, if Bill Belichick said we got OTA starting June 15th, he won't be at the tournament. He got to go there, and you have to build that. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, is building the team to where the boys still can go. I still can fulfill my needs and do that. And I mean, there will be opportunities to where the 2-day tournaments, I can drive down the next day and still watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about what you want and what you want to do. Got to get back into shape, obviously season rolling back around, coach. But it was the same way that I tell my boys, the same way Coach Reese, tells it's hard on us. And even being a vet playing the game 19 years, he's not going to treat me any different. He's going to treat me just like anybody else. And that's how I want it. And like I said, I'm a competitor, and I still want an opportunity to win a championship. I mean, that's the reason you play the game, especially at that professional level, is to get the championship. Amarillo hasn't won a championship since 2013. So it'll be cool for me to give one that you won't forget, because it's post-COVID and, it's your last one and you go off into the sunset. Why not John Elway?
Yeah. I mean, you and I have no doubt in my mind that y'all are going to be holding up the trophy at the end of the season, holding up your rings, and it's going to be amazing. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch you. We're in the process, we have no COVID kind of messed everything up, but we're in the process of filming a documentary for you. And I have not lost those clips. I haven't lost the footage. We got a story to tell. And this interview right now is just a little sneak peek of what's to come. And, Andre, it's been amazing. It's been an honor to call you family now. And I kind of want to talk about mine and your relationship a little bit, man. We've both helped each other grow. And you've helped me grow as a man, just like you have for these young athletes. And, but it's crazy because I don't have a big brother. I have a big sister, but I don't have a big brother. I am the oldest of my brothers. And so to have you in my life it's awesome. And I've got a sneak peek of what it's like having a big brother. And it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Like you said earlier, we have our disagreements. We have our times where we get on each other's nerves. And so, we don't always like what each other we don't like what we have to say to each other all the time. But I've come to know that, man, it needs to be said. And you wouldn't get on to me we wouldn't have these arguments if we didn't have any love or care for each other. So that alone has helped me grow as a man and helped me grow this business, because you hold me accountable. It's like, man, I don't know if I can do this. And then eventually you're like, okay, well, what's up? What's the deal? And so to really say, how far we've come, man, it is amazing. Again, I'll just say you're a big part of the reason why Sports Talent 806 is here, why it is what it is. You've given me the opportunity to cover the team. That's given me exposure to connect with other athletes. I'm excited to cover athletes in 806 and around the West Texas, guys and girls. And I always have to remind myself of that and remind everyone. I know lately it's just been football, covering the team, but I'm trying to break out and cover football, cover soccer, cover tennis, golf, all the sports for the guys and girls. That's my goal. My dream is to give exposure of the talent that we have around here. And so it's just amazing, man, how we've God, I really do believe in you. I said God has a plan, man, and he obviously brought us in each other's paths for a reason. And to see how much we've accomplished and see how much you've accomplished has been a blessing to watch. It's been a huge thing to see. It's something I'm grateful for, and I'm always going to be grateful for. I want to thank you for letting me meet these guys on West Texas Elite and form the relationship I have with them. And with the parents too. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm very grateful. You guys have given me another family, and I want to talk. At the tournament in Plano, I gave the guys a little motivational speech. My first time to kind of try to hype them up, but that's what was on my heart. And I mentioned though that, man, I was in a dark place in my life, and we talked about it. I was at a very dark place in my life, man, and I wanted to just end it all, and I didn't for a reason. And so this business, Sports Talent 806 and West Texas Elite is my savior. And y'all saved my life because when I'm around that team and when I'm out there filming, it's a whole new level of happiness, of wholeness. So I'm very grateful, very thankful. And West Texas Elite is always going to be near and dear to my heart. These guys are going to be near and dear to my heart. I can't wait to watch them play at the next level. I'm excited. And I just want you to just talk about what's your plans? I mean, I know you may have not thought about it too much, but as a coach, what is your plans? Is this something you plan to continue doing for years to come, or what's the goal?
Nah, for sure. First off, I want to give like a little want to ask for a little prayer for one of our teammates. Nathan White. Lost his father today, and just want to let him know, let everybody know we're here for him.
Most definitely.
Little backstory about Nate. He was the first. I guess you could say golden quarterback that you get. He actually saved West Texas Elite. Without him, the team isn't here.
Yeah.
And between him, Kai, Trey, Keith, Micah, um, Stringer, think about Trey, between all of them, Patty, Bryson, the original core, they really saved the team, man. And they brought and changed the level. That's why I tell them, like, told Kai today, like, that's why I'm so hard on you guys. Because since you set the standard and you set your level, why would I lower it? Why would I lower that standard? If you set it there, then I'm going to elevate it. I'm going to elevate you. I'm going to elevate you the rest of your life. That's why we're here. We all needed each other. I was in a dark place in my life too, because you're thinking about giving the game up. You're trying to transition to like, hey, I gotta figure out what I want to do with my life. I got two boys. It's about to be 9 and 7. They're growing. You got to set something up for them for life. You have Sienna, you have Misty. You got to set that and be that. And
Most definitely.
These boys saved that and gave me a vision. And West Texas League's gonna be here for a long time. It's not going to go anywhere. I plan on coaching. Just depend on what division. I kind of feel like I might get a group. 12U, then you go to 15U and 18U. But I'm the owner, president, founder, obviously, all of that. But I need, obviously I need help. Obviously, you can't do it all by yourself, and that's what I'm realizing. Thank God that I have a good, family, in family, blood family, and team family. Without family, man, this team doesn't be successful. Without Monica, doing all the little stuff, we're not successful. Without Megan figuring out different things happening, we're not successful. Without Misty doing this, it's not successful. Without, Keegan dad doing this, you're not successful. Without Fatty doing this, you're not successful. You know, Without everybody helping each other, we're not successful. The majority of the people I say, even Miss Tammy and Mr. Terry, they take King and Alcorn and bring them guys that can't, ride down. Then you have Travion and Bryson and all these guys riding with Miss Megan, with Monica, riding with me. I mean, it takes a collective, collective group. That's the only way we've been able to go to these tournaments.
Yeah.
And I will say this, you go 24, 12, and 2 with 2 championship appearances and a championship. like I tell the boys, wins or losses, it don't matter. But if you do stuff the right way, the wins will come. And
Yeah.
when they do stuff the right way, they win. But
Hmm.
when they try to do stuff their own way and don't play as a team, they lose. King texts me something, and it's kind of crazy because Abilene High plays Tascosa here. We got to
Yeah.
figure out a way to get you out there and hopefully record that, do some type of doc. Because I mean, we got boys on both teams, and I
Yeah.
mean they're gonna try to. They got a little bet to where who's gonna win,
Yeah.
and I don't want to pick who I think is gonna win. I might not do that till the day before, but King said, I really appreciate you introducing me to Latravion, man. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
And for the Abilene High kid to say that about a Tascosa kid, to where that they can come together and play, they can be enemies on the field, but then shake his hand and be like, hey, I love you, brother. And, you know, you helping me. It's just amazing to see that. And I have to really think about that on these trips as a coach, to where you can't really judging your tournaments off of wins or losses, because I mean, you haven't, like you said, from Midland to Crane to Abilene to
Yeah.
Amarillo to Lubbock. I mean, and remember this, they don't practice that much.
Mm-mm.
It's really with no practice time, they're coming together and being successful. So if they can do that, I'm like, imagine what you can do at your high school
Yeah.
when you with your guys and you
Hmm.
get the extra time, the extra practice time, what you can do with that.
Most definitely.
Make your team successful. And Abilene High successful, Tascosa successful. You take a kid like Keith, you know, he goes to Cap Rock and they're not a really, right now they're struggling, get the wins and losses right now. But you take a kid like that who's learning how to win from these other good teams, that kid can go change that culture and be
Oh,
the
most
difference.
definitely.
And like I told Keith, I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to get in the playoffs your senior year? That's legendary.
Yeah.
Doing the extra,
Hmm.
doing coming to your DBAT workouts, going to these tournaments, going against these 5-star, 4-star.
Yeah.
The team against the team we played, New Breed, none of the guys knew that Latravion was guarding a 5-star recruit that was committed to Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and he didn't catch a pass on Latravion. And we end up tying them, and they end up winning the championship. Funny thing about that, they were the 10 seed, we were the 11 seed. We both had the same record, 2-0-1, and we tied them. Everybody else, they put up 30, I want to say 30 plus points. We were the only team to hold them to 14 points.
Yeah.
And like I tell them, I was like, if you can play at that high level against that team, then you are, rising. But now
Most
this is
definitely.
the catch. How do you become great? How do you find that? How do you learn how to win? How do you learn how to win in the
Yeah.
classroom? If you're struggling in the classroom, how do you learn how to win? Okay, cool. You got to go to tutorials. Guess what? You
Yep.
got to go to tutorials. You can't hang out with your buddies tonight. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got practice at 5 a.m. Guess what? You better be there at 5 a.m. I mean, guess what? If you got a job at 5:30, more than likely you need to be there 15 minutes before, so you're clocked in. You're not, being late. It's just certain rules that you're trying to teach, and
Most definitely.
they're not realizing that, hey, the reason I'm hard on you because of this is somebody's going to be harder on you when you get
Yeah.
into the real work world and you're working for a $1 billion company. That person in charge is going to be a butthole to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's just being right. And they're going to expect you to do that job. They're
Mhm.
not going to care that you got personal issues going on at home. They're not
Yep.
going to care that you're sick. They're not going to care about that. But it's about what you're willing to do to what are you willing to do to make them, what are you willing to do to be successful with it? What are you willing to do? What are you
Yeah.
willing to block out for that moment? You know, what are you willing? Brett Favre example, you go out and throw 5, 6 touchdowns after, his dad passed away, man. Like little moments like that.
Yeah.
Not saying Nate's not gonna go this week, obviously, but when he does come back, that's gonna be the challenge. Like, what are you what did you learn from that? What did he teach you while he was here?
Most
All
definitely.
those lessons that he was teaching you. all those memories that you have, because that's the only thing you have, and that's the thing that you have to hang on.
Yeah.
And understanding that, losing my grandparents and seeing my mom struggle with that, I think that's the biggest thing that I can take,
Yeah.
and I'm learning from that,
Most definitely.
to where I can teach them. And what I'm really thinking I'm teaching is, like I said, that mental toughness
Yep.
and effort. Those are two things people can't take away: is your mental toughness and effort. If you put your effort in everything that you can do, then you cannot be lost. When you're
Yep.
playing on special teams on Fridays, you just run it down on kickoff. It's all about effort. It's about who wants it. It's about who wants to make the tackle, who wants to make the play,
Most
who
definitely.
wants to be the valid Victorian. She ain't just get smart overnight. She don't put 4 years for it. That means she's been grinding, or he's been grinding.
Yeah.
It's about what are you willing to do? If you want to be superintendent, what are you willing to do? You want to be a teacher? It's going to be a lot of work. You want to be a supervisor of a job? You can't just say I want a pay raise and do that. It takes work,
Yep.
and that's what I think everybody's learning. And that's, I'm still learning. You can't just put a 7-on-7 team together and go out and be successful. You got to put time in. You got to have a committee. You got to get fundraising.
Yes, sir.
You got to have ways to help these kids, pay for these tournaments.
Most definitely.
It goes, you can't just put it together. And I'm guilty of it, saying, hey, I think I can put a team together and do it. It's not. But what the challenge for me was, now I got an off season. What can you do? And in 7 months, you change it up, and now you're one of the top organizations in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I tell them, you don't try to sound arrogant or cocky. I mean, you just be like, hey, it's the truth. Yeah. Everywhere you go, it's West Texas Elite.
Yeah.
I mean, they know who we are. If you
definitely.
buy in, you're successful. When you don't, you're not successful.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing y'all are learning as an organization, and it's just men, is nothing's given. It's always earned. And that's what it is. It takes work, hard work, dedication. And you explained that very well. I mean, because you said you want to be a teacher, you want to do this. What are you willing to do? What kind of work are you willing to put in? But you know what, Coach? This interview has been a really good one. And I want to just kind of end with this, because this is something I like to do. We got to learn a little bit about who Andre Hendricks is, who is Coach Hendricks. And this is not the last interview. We're not done getting to know your story. We're actually going to tell your story more and more. So again, thank you for letting me be a part of this organization. And thank you for helping give me the opportunities and meet the people that I've met with Sports Talent 806. With that being said, man, a lot of changes are coming. I know I talked to you about it. You giving me that opportunity to meet talented athletes from around West Texas. Big changes are coming. I'll be changing the name eventually to Sports Talent West Texas, because I'm ready to tell these stories all around West Texas, man. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. Before we end this interview, though, I want to do what I do with every interview. If you can give any word of encouragement to young athletes, guys and girls, what's that encouragement to give them now? Something you've learned as a young athlete and someone who's still playing sports right now. What is that advice you would give to those athletes right now?
When nobody believes in you, believe in yourself, and know this, that faith conquers fear. And that's it.
That's awesome. And it's amazing to see how you're coaching, and I'm excited again, Andre, to watch you one last ride with the Amarillo Venom. I know I'm going to be there telling your story, capturing the action. I know West Texas Elite, the roster is going to be there. They got to come watch you win this ring. They got to come watch Coach ball out so you can show them what you made of, Coach. So that's I'm excited. But again, man, thank you so much for everything, for being that big brother that I needed in my life, for being someone. You're a coach to me too. I mean, for coaching me. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the opportunities. I can't wait to see the many more things we're going to accomplish. This is just the beginning. We're building something special. West Texas Elite is building something special. To the athletes from all over the West Texas, to the parents, thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of y'all's lives and tell your kid's story. we're not done yet. We're just getting started. So thanks again, Coach. I'm looking forward to talking with you some more, and possibly, if everything works out, being down there this weekend with you guys in Arlington. And if not, I'm definitely going to be keeping in touch with someone to see how the boys are doing. So thanks again, Coach, for everything. I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.